Most people don't realize they've lost half their leg strength until the day they can't get up off the floor. Half gone, and they had no idea. Not because of an injury, not because of a fall, but because of something happening silently right now. Inside the muscles of your legs. Scientists call it sarcopenia. You probably haven't heard that word. But after the age of 70, it is the single biggest hidden threat to your independence, your mobility, and honestly, your survival. Here's what terrifies most doctors. By the time people feel it, the wobbling when they stand, the difficulty climbing stairs, the fear of stepping off a curb, up to 40% of the muscle they had at age 40 is already gone. 40%. Already gone. Without a single symptom. But here's what they don't tell you at the doctor's office. This is not inevitable. It is not your destiny. And it is absolutely 100% reversible, even in your 80s and 90s. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 exercises that researchers, physical therapists, and longevity scientists say every person over 70 must be doing daily to keep their legs strong, their balance solid, and their independence intact for decades to come. Stay with me. By the time we reach exercise number 1, the most important one, what you learn, will completely change how you think about aging. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a man named Robert. He's 74. He's proud. He mowed his own lawn every single week for 40 years. He never asked for help. He drove his grandkids to school, walked his dog every morning, and stood tall at every family gathering. Then one Tuesday morning, he bent down to pick up his newspaper, and his legs gave out. He didn't trip. Nothing was in the way. His legs simply didn't hold him. He sat on that cold floor for 3 hours before his neighbor found him. Robert isn't a rare story. He's the story of millions of Americans over 70. And here's the heartbreaking truth. It didn't have to happen. It never had to happen. Here's what most people don't understand about aging and leg strength. Your legs are not just how you walk. They are your lifeline. The legs contain the largest muscle groups in the entire human body: the quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. These muscles do far more than carry you from room to room. They pump blood back to your heart. They stabilize your spine. They send signals to your brain that keep your balance and coordination sharp. When leg strength declines, and after 70, it declines up to 3 times faster than any other muscle group in the body, everything else starts to fall apart too. Falls become more likely. Balance becomes unreliable. Then comes the walker. Then the wheelchair. Then the nursing home. That is the pipeline. And most people don't know they're already in it. But here is the truth that should fill you with hope. Muscle responds to effort at any age. Your legs can be rebuilt. Your strength can be reclaimed. Studies show that adults in their 80s and 90s who began targeted leg strengthening programs increased their muscle mass by up to 15% in just 12 weeks. 12 weeks. That's 3 months. And lives were changed completely. But before we get to the exercises, and I promise, they're coming, let me show you exactly what science says is happening inside your legs and why these specific 3 movements work so powerfully. Let's talk science for just a moment. I'll keep it simple. Because once you understand what's happening in your body, you'll never skip these exercises again. Sarcopenia, from the Greek words for flesh, and loss is the age-related decline of skeletal muscle mass and strength. After the age of 30, the average person loses roughly 3 to 5% of their muscle mass per decade. That's manageable, slow, almost unnoticeable. But after 70, that rate accelerates dramatically. Some researchers estimate that adults over 70 can lose up to 15% of their remaining muscle mass per decade, and the legs go first. Here's why this happens. Your body produces hormones, testosterone, growth hormone, estrogen, that maintain and rebuild muscle tissue. After 70, those hormones drop to a fraction of what they once were. The signal to rebuild is quieter. The muscle fibers break down faster than they're replaced. At the same time, the motor neurons, the nerve pathways that connect your brain to your leg muscles, begin to deteriorate. This is called neuromuscular decline. It doesn't just affect strength, it affects speed of response, coordination, and balance. That's why so many older adults describe feeling wobbly or unsteady. It's not just weakness in the muscle. It's a disruption in the brain-tool-leg communication system, a landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 4,500 adults aged 65 and older over a decade. The finding is adults with the weakest leg strength had a mortality rate more than 2 times higher than those with strong legs. Leg strength predicted survival better than cholesterol, blood pressure, and even smoking history. Another study from the University of Pittsburgh found that walking speed, which is directly tied to leg strength, was a better predictor of lifespan in older adults than almost any other measurement doctors routinely take. And here's the most hopeful piece of research I want you to hold on to. A 2019 study published in Frontiers in Physiology found that resistance training, specifically targeting the legs in adults over 70, not only reversed muscle loss, it also improved brain function, reduced depression symptoms, and cut the risk of falls by over 34%. 3 exercises, done daily. That's all it takes to trigger this cascade of benefits. Let me tell you what those exercises are. Here's exactly what we're covering today, and I want you to know I've ranked these exercises in a very specific order. From the exercise that helps you most in the short term, all the way to the #1 exercise that research now says may literally determine whether you age independently or not. Exercise number 3 is the one most people already know but do completely wrong. When you learn the correct version, you'll feel a difference in your legs within 48 hours. Exercise number 2 is the one physical therapists call the secret weapon for fall prevention. Most people over 70 have never done this, but it directly trains the neuromuscular connection we just talked about. And exercise number 1, the one we'll end on, is the movement that a Harvard research team recently called the single most important thing an older adult can do to protect their independence. It is deceptively simple. And once you hear what it does to your brain, your heart, and your leg muscles simultaneously, you will understand why it's number 1. Quick question before we start. How old are you and where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below. Love hearing from this community. All right, let's get into it. Starting with exercise number 3, you've done squats before. Maybe you've done them your whole life. But there is one small adjustment to this movement that transforms it from a casual exercise into a proven tool for rebuilding leg power, and almost nobody over 70 knows about it. Picture Margaret. She's 71. Every morning she gets out of bed and it takes her 3 attempts to actually stand up. She grabs the headboard. She pushes off the mattress. She gets a little dizzy for a moment. She told her doctor. He said, "That's just aging." It isn't just aging. It's a specific kind of muscle weakness in the quadriceps and the glutes that can be directly targeted and reversed with one simple daily movement. The chair squat, also called a sit-to-stand exercise, is one of the most studied movements in geriatric physical therapy. Here's what makes it so powerful. Every time you lower yourself toward a chair and stand back up, you are loading the largest muscles in your body, your quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings, under controlled resistance. Over time, this signals your body to produce more muscle protein, rebuild motor neuron connections, and increase the density of the muscle fibers themselves. But here's the part most people miss. The eccentric phase, the slow lowering, is where 70% of the strength benefit actually occurs. Most people just plop into the chair. It's a wasted opportunity. When you lower yourself slowly 3 to 4 seconds down, you create micro tears in the muscle fibers that your body then repairs stronger than before. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity tested chair stand exercises in adults aged 72, 85 over 8 weeks. The results? Participants increased their leg strength by an average of 23%. Their walking speed improved. Their balance scores improved. And their confidence in daily activities, climbing stairs, walking to the car, shopping, increased significantly. All from one exercise, done correctly. Every single day. When you perform the chair squat daily, here's what happens inside your body. The quadriceps, the 4 muscles running down the front of your thighs, are directly activated. These muscles are the primary drivers of every action involving standing, climbing, or walking on uneven ground. When they weaken, the risk of falls skyrockets. The glutes, your gluteal muscles, are the anchors of your entire lower body. Weak glutes mean unstable hips, a wobbly gait, and lower back pain. Strong glutes mean a stable, confident stride. And the hamstrings, The muscles at the back of your thighs are your brakes. They control how you descend stairs, how you stop a stumble, how you keep yourself from pitching forward when you step off a curb. The chair squat trains all three, every single rep. Here's exactly how to do it correctly. Position a sturdy chair behind you and stand in front of it with your feet about shoulder width apart. Cross your arms over your chest or hold them out in front of you for balance. Do not use your hands to push off. Slowly lower yourself toward the chair, counting to 3 as you descend. Don't fully sit down if you can avoid it. Hover just above the seat for 1 second, then push through your heels and stand back up, squeezing your glutes at the top. That is 1 repetition. Aim for 10 repetitions, 3 sets, daily. If that feels too hard at first, use your hands for balance, but gradually try to do more reps without arm support. You'll be amazed at how quickly your legs respond.
This exercise requires no gym, no special shoes, no equipment, just a chair. You can do it in your bedroom, your kitchen, or your living room. It takes under 5 minutes, and the results are real within 2 weeks. Even if you haven't exercised in years, even if your legs feel weak right now, you can start today. Your body is waiting for this signal. Now, the chair squat rebuilds raw strength. But strength alone isn't enough to prevent falls. What you need next is something different, a kind of training that sharpens the communication line between your brain and your legs. And the research on this next exercise is almost unbelievable. There is a test that researchers use to predict whether an older adult will be alive in 10 years. It takes 10 seconds. It requires no equipment. And it involves standing on one leg. Studies show that adults over 70 who cannot hold a single leg balance for 10 seconds have a dramatically higher risk of death from all causes, not just falls, within the next decade. But here's what's fascinating. The same exercise used as a test can also be used as a cure. Think about a woman named Dorothy. She's 76. She stopped wearing heels years ago. Then she stopped walking on uneven ground. Then she stopped going to the park because the path was too unpredictable. Now she barely leaves the house. She thinks her balance problems are just part of aging. But what's actually happening is that her vestibular system, the balance center in her inner ear, and her proprioceptive system, the network of sensors in her feet, ankles, and legs that tell her brain where her body is in space, have both weakened from disuse. The brain-to-leg communication pathway has gone quiet. Not because she's sick, because she stopped challenging it. Balance is not just about the legs. It is a 3-system integration. Your vestibular system detects movement and orientation. Your visual system tracks your position in space. Your proprioceptive system sends constant updates to your brain about where each part of your body is. When these 3 systems work together, you can walk confidently on any surface, in any light, without thinking about it. When they fall out of sync, as they do with aging and inactivity, the result is instability, misjudged steps, and falls. Single-leg balance exercises directly train all 3 systems simultaneously. Every second you spend standing on one leg, your brain is firing millions of neural signals, recalibrating, adjusting, strengthening the pathways that protect you from falling. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed 1,702 adults aged 51 to 75 and found that those unable to stand on one leg for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death from any cause over the following 7 years. Even after accounting for age, weight, and health conditions, 84% higher risk from a 10-second balance test. And a separate review of 19 clinical trials encompassing over 3,500 older adults found that balance training specifically reduced the rate of injurious falls by 37%. When you stand on one leg, several remarkable things happen at once. The ankle stabilizers, small but critically important muscles in your lower leg and foot, fire intensely. These muscles are often completely neglected in typical exercise routines, but they are your first line of defense against a twisted ankle or a tripped step. The hip abductors, muscles on the outer side of your hip, engage to keep you from tipping sideways. Weakness here is one of the most common reasons older adults stumble when turning corners or stepping around furniture. And your cerebellum, the part of your brain responsible for coordination and fine motor control, is working overtime, processing incoming signals from your feet, eyes, and inner ear, making hundreds of micro-corrections per second. Every second you practice this, you are rewiring your brain for better balance. At any age, This is neuroplasticity in action. Here's how to do it safely and effectively. Start by standing near a counter, wall, or sturdy chair, something you can touch for safety but don't need to grip. Lift one foot off the floor, even if it's just an inch. Just break contact between your foot and the floor. Try to hold for 10 seconds, then switch legs. That's one set. Do this 3 times on each leg, once in the morning and once in the evening. As you improve, try holding for 20 seconds, then 30, then try it with your eyes closed, which dramatically increases the difficulty and the benefit. If you can't hold for 10 seconds yet, that's okay. Start with 3 seconds. Start with 1 second. Your nervous system will adapt quickly. Most people see measurable improvement within just 1 week. You don't need to be athletic. You don't need coordination. You don't need to be flexible. You just need to try safely with something nearby to catch you. Every second you spend on one leg is a second you're spending reinforcing your independence. We've covered strength. We've covered balance. Now we're coming to the exercise that ties both together and adds something extra that researchers say may be the closest thing to a fountain of youth we've ever discovered. Exercise number 1 is going to surprise you. Don't go anywhere. What if I told you that the single most powerful exercise for protecting your legs, your brain, your heart, and your independence after 70 is also the one you've been doing your whole life? Not a fancy movement, not a gym machine, not a piece of expensive equipment. Walking. But not just any walking, slow, intentional, mindful walking. Done in a very specific way that most people never consider, that activates what Harvard researchers call the most important longevity mechanism in the aging body. There's a study that changed how longevity scientists think about aging. Not a study on diet. Not a study on medication. A study on walking. Researchers in Japan followed a group of adults aged 70 to 85 over 5 years. One group walked casually, shuffling along, often looking at their phones or distracted. The other group walked with intention, heads up, deliberate heel-to-toe footfalls, swinging their arms actively, and focusing on their environment. Same exercise, same duration, same people, dramatically different results. The intentional walkers maintained muscle mass 40% better. Their cognitive scores remained sharper. Their fall rates were half that of the casual walking group. The difference wasn't how far they walked, it was how they walked. When you walk with intention, your brain and legs enter a partnership that casual movement doesn't trigger. Heel-to-toe walking engages the tibialis anterior, the muscle along your shin, which is the most commonly weakened muscle in adults over 70, and the one most directly linked to tripping and stumbling. Most shuffling older adults have almost completely lost the habit of lifting their toes properly. Intentional walking rebuilds this critical habit. Active arm swinging triggers the contralateral gait pattern, the natural left arm, right leg coordination rhythm that humans evolved with. When this pattern degrades, walking becomes labored, slow, and dangerous. Restoring it improves energy efficiency and dramatically reduces fall risk. And focused awareness during walking, noticing where you're placing your feet, observing the ground, attending to your balance, activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, coordination, and executive function. Walking, done mindfully, is essentially a dual-task brain exercise. It strengthens the legs and the mind at the same time. A landmark study from Harvard Medical School followed 16,000 adults over 45 years old for nearly 2 decades. Their finding was stunning. Adults who walked regularly, especially with a brisk, intentional pace, had a 35% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, a 40% lower risk of cognitive decline, and a 28% lower risk of dying from all causes compared to sedentary adults. But when researchers looked at quality of walking, not just quantity, the benefits multiplied. Adults who walked with purposeful attention lived, on average, 7 years longer than those who shuffled without engagement. 7 more years from walking with intention. Another study, published in JAMA Internal Medicine, found that just 4,400 steps per day, taken intentionally, not just wandered through, was sufficient to significantly reduce mortality risk in women aged 70 and older. Not 10,000 steps, not marathon distances. Just 4,400 deliberate, engaged steps per day. Let's look at what happens in your body when you walk with intention for just 20 to 30 minutes per day. Your leg muscles, calves, hamstrings, quadriceps, glutes, contract rhythmically, pumping blood back up toward your heart through a process sometimes called the second heart. Without strong, active leg muscles, blood can pool in the lower extremities, leading to swelling, blood clots, and cardiovascular strain. Your brain receives a flood of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein sometimes called miracle-grow for the brain. BDNF stimulates the growth of new neurons, strengthens synaptic connections, and has been shown to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease by up to 40% in regular walkers. Your bones respond to the gentle impact loading of walking by maintaining density, critical after 70, when bone loss accelerates and fractures become life-threatening. Your mitochondria, the energy factories inside your cells, multiply and become more efficient, giving you more stamina, more mental clarity, and a greater sense of vitality throughout the day. And your mood, the rhythmic motion of walking triggers the release of serotonin and endorphins at a rate comparable to mild antidepressant medication. Daily walkers over 70 report significantly higher levels of happiness, purpose, and quality of life than their sedentary peers. Strong legs don't just keep you walking, they keep you living. Here's the exact method I want you to try tomorrow morning. Choose a safe, flat surface, your neighborhood, a park path, a quiet sidewalk. Even indoors works if outdoors isn't possible. Stand tall, shoulders back, eyes forward, not down at your phone or the ground. Lift your chin slightly. Begin walking with deliberate heel-to-toe contact. Feel your heel land first, then roll through the foot, pushing off with your toes. Make this conscious, make it intentional. Swing your arms actively, opposite arm to leg. Let your shoulders move naturally. Don't hold your arms stiff at your sides. Walk at a pace that allows you to hold a conversation, but feels slightly brisk, not a stroll. A purposeful walk. Aim for 20 to 30 minutes. If 10 minutes is all you can manage right now, that is perfect. Start there. Add 2 minutes every week. And make it daily, not 3 times a week. Not when the weather is nice. Daily. Your body needs the consistency to rebuild and maintain what it's building. I know some of you watching this are thinking, I can't walk 30 minutes. My knees hurt. My back hurts. I get tired quickly. Please hear me. Start where you are. Walk to the mailbox and back. Walk up and down your hallway 5 times. Walk around the block once. The research doesn't require a marathon. It requires motion, consistent, intentional, daily motion. Your body will meet you exactly where you are, and it will begin rebuilding immediately. There is no too late. There is only today. And today is enough to begin. Let me bring this all together for you. Your legs are not just your legs. They are your freedom. They are your dignity. They are the reason you can hug your grandchildren without help, walk into a room under your own power, and wake up every morning knowing that today you can handle whatever comes. After 70, the body begins a process of quiet decline. Sarcopenia works in the shadows. Balance systems fade from disuse. The brain two-leg pathway grows dim, but none of that has to be your story. Because now you know what to do. Exercise number 3, the chair squat, rebuilds the raw strength of your quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings. Done slowly, done correctly, done daily. 10 reps, 3 sets, 5 minutes. Exercise number 2, single leg balance, rewires the neuromuscular communication between your brain and your legs. 30 seconds per side, twice a day, near something safe to hold. That's all it takes to begin reversing the balance decline that sends millions of older adults to the hospital every year. And exercise number 1, intentional walking, is not just exercise, it is medicine. It feeds your brain, strengthens your bones, pumps your blood, lifts your mood, and keeps you alive longer than almost anything else science has ever studied. 20 minutes, daily, with intention, with your eyes up and your arms swinging and your heels landing first. Those 20 minutes may be the most important 20 minutes of your day. I want to leave you with something a 94-year-old woman said in a study on aging and exercise. She had begun strength training at 89, after years of barely moving, and 5 years later, she was living alone, cooking her own meals, walking her neighborhood daily, and doing chair squats every morning. The researchers asked her what the exercises had given her. She paused, then she smiled and said, "They gave me back my mornings. I thought I'd lost them, but I got them back. You can get your mornings back too. Your afternoons, your independence, your future." It starts with 3 exercises. Done today, done tomorrow, done the day after that. Small choices, repeated daily. That is the secret of every person who ages powerfully. If this video helped you, if it gave you hope, or clarity, or just one thing you're going to try tomorrow morning, please hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it helps more people like you find this channel. Subscribe to Everstrong if you haven't already. Every week we bring you evidence-based, compassionate, practical information for living stronger, longer, and more independently after 60, 70, and beyond. And leave a comment below. Tell me your age, tell me where you're watching from, and tell me which of these 3 exercises you're going to start with. I read every comment, and I am genuinely grateful you're here. Stay strong, stay moving, and remember, your best years are not behind you. They are being built, one day, one choice, one step at a time.